Hello, Metal Rules. This is Dissona. We're here to answer some of your questions.
I don't think we've ever really had a choice in the matter. We've always been driven by a need to create, and Dissona has always scratched that itch, and we're just continuing the pursuit. The name Dissona is actually just a portmanteau of the words dissonant and persona. Back in the earlier days of the band, I feel like we were actually using musical dissonance in the music a little more regularly than we do now. But these days it's almost more of a metaphor to how we approach writing and creating. You know, we don't want things to be too expected, but we still want them to be engaging, interesting. And that's where the name comes from. So our next album is actually an EP called Dreadfully Distinct, coming out November 10th via Earache Distribution. It's a Type 3 song EP, and each song focuses around a different character from the Blade Runner universe. Each song is unique in tone and intensity, and we've got videos for all 3 songs coming out, so stay tuned.
Well, as far as lyrical content goes for this EP, what has set it apart from really anything we've ever done is that it's based on a pre-existing story that we did not create ourselves, and therefore it's based on characters that exist in a universe that is not our own. So this involved a lot of character study, and in a way for me, a level of method acting, so to speak, in order to immerse myself into these characters as much as possible. I would say that Matt, being the lead songwriter, had to do something similar to that in order for us to both kind of meet in the same world and decide what kind of emotions these characters would have, and therefore what kind of words they would be saying, how they would be saying them, their methods of delivery, and even some certain slang. For example, in The Prodigal Son, which is entirely about Roy's rebellion, so to speak, when we think about his character, we think of sort of a very angry child. As serious as his issue is, a lot of it is kind of like him throwing a massive tantrum, so we kind of wanted to throw in that exaggerated emotional drama into what he was saying. In some cases, pulling directly from Ridley Scott's film. I've seen things where people wouldn't believe. But yeah, and in a lot of ways, we didn't want to make things too obvious, whether it be lyrically or musically. We wanted to invent our idea of what this character is. Cover art for the EP, there are quite a few interesting things to say about that. We went back and forth between a lot of different concept ideas. Eventually, we sort of landed on this geometrical looking room that came from a scene in the film 2049. Matt presented it to me, and I really appreciated the abstractness of it all, and how, like the lyrical content, it's not so obvious as to what exactly this is. And as I was looking at it, I was thinking, okay, how can we set this apart even further from what it is? And the more I looked at the shape of this room, the more I saw an origami figure, which happened to tie in perfectly with the origami symbolism in the Blade Runner films. So I thought, hey, what if we make the texture of these walls look like folding paper, and what if the text has something to do with
virology.
Something that, a genetic engineer would be very interested in, or perhaps the notes of a genetic engineer. So that is how the cover art came to be, and we went to Carol with this idea, and she loved it, and she spit it out in a matter of three drafts maybe.
And it was, I think it was a holiday weekend, and she was like, it might be like a week or something, but it was like the next day or even the same day she had it out to us.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the story with that one.
All right, new albums. There's a cool band called House of Waters that has a hammered dulcimer lead that I really, really like, and they have a new album called On Becoming that came out this year. And there's another guy called Saint Mesa, who's a Native American singer, but he sings English, but it's electronic music. It's kind of Bjork-like. Really cool and unique. I got to talk to him for a couple minutes, and he said that a lot of Bjork and a lot of unique individual singers have been influential for him, so that's a really cool thing to listen to.
I've been super into this rapper Billy Woods. He released 2 albums this year, Maps, which is amazing. It's probably my album of the year.
It's awesome.
And he released an album with Elucid as Armand Hammer. They're a duo. And it's really dense lyrically. The beats they're abstract. Sometimes they're, depending on the producer, but it's violent and it can be very dreamlike, and it's a lot of disparate elements that you don't typically find in rap, coupled with just like excellent storytelling. I can't speak highly enough of it. It's really good stuff.
I admittedly haven't listened to almost anything new of this year, but someone recently did show me Master Boot Record, which is pretty awesome. So I had plans to dive deeper into that, but I'm not sure that I've listened to anything that's been new as of 2023.
Yeah, nothing really new for me. I did. Last new release I enjoyed, which was I believe 2021, was Return to the Void by Shape of Despair. Which I've always had a soft spot for them, so pretty much that was a guaranteed hit for me. But other than that, still waiting for something to catch my ear.
The Chicago music scene is amazing. It's got an incredible breadth to it. I don't believe there's a specificity as far as metal's concerned. It's not like, oh, we got Swedish death metal or Norwegian black metal or anything like that. The metal scene is all over the place. There's good bands in just about every subgenre you can imagine, and there's plenty of venues to play. There's record shops. There's just Chicago being the metropolis that it is allows for a whole bunch of different things, and music is greatly benefiting from itself. Even like there's metal everywhere you look. It's excellent. We are really fortunate to be a part of the Chicago music scene.
New stuff for the band. We have a bunch of music coming out. We have an EP being released over the next couple weeks and months, and we have a whole bunch of stuff coming out all next year also. So you'll see us on tour segments and festivals and one-off shows, and a lot of stuff coming out. Music videos, EP, it's coming.
Dropping November 10th.
Metal rules. It is undeniable. Metal rules for a variety of reasons. Number one, metal can incorporate just about everything else that you can imagine and still be powerful, still be relevant. Take a look at all the subgenres of metal. There's countless. Each one of them unique, distinct, important. Metal rules because it brings people together in a way that I personally have not seen. And maybe the closest approximation is sports fans, in that metal is a brotherhood. People from all walks of life come to the same shows. They bond with the same bands, the same songs. It's a great unifying force, and we're all very lucky to be part of it. We're very lucky it exists. We live in the golden age of metal. There's never been more. There's never been more quality, and it rules. What the hell else is there to say?
That'll be the vote.